Hello, hello. How you doing, she? Cool, 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 cool. Figured I would go live, answer some questions, see if anybody needs any assistance. How did your that strat end up today? what you're using, and I think you called it trade count. So I was, and is that something that we can locate as an actual thing, or is that just your verbiage? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I see that now up above. Right. I mean, at first glance, I was thinking, or my first thought would be buys versus sells, but it may be the other, actually. It's very possible that it could be that. Yeah, that would be really cool. I could see that actually being quite useful. Be really cool. I could see that actually being. Yeah, I messed up some trades today. Oh boy, I had some really good. SPX trade starting, and I don't know what I was doing, but man, I only made $60 on each SPX trade. Both should have been in the hundreds, and if not the thousands. But yeah, I jumped in at the right time. Like I jumped in. I don't know if you see the chart or anything yet, or you know what? Let me go live in Discord as well. Oh, no worries. Oh yeah, we can talk. This is a free for all. Oh, I am. It's live. That's okay though. All right. So this is where I got in today. Hey guys. Yeah, yeah. Good evening. All right. So yeah, my SPX trade today. This is where I honestly I don't know what it was. Maybe it was FOMO. I have no idea. But look at my entry. That was my entry. For whatever reason, I exited like right here. And then I re-entered right here and then exited right there. And somehow or another, the combination of those equaled $60. Oh, that's it. That was this one right here. So I have no idea. I went back and I was reviewing that and I was like, what's going on? Honestly, I should have got in here, traded all the way up, scaled out, waited for the pullback, possibly get all out because I'm at my 573. Look for this, hop back in here and take it, scale out, exit at the 575. That should have been the way I traded that. I don't know what I was doing. That's just so weird. Um, Very odd when you go back and look at stuff like that. And then my second trade was I was watching this setup right here. And when it crossed through here, I waited for it to clear the structure to the left. I got in here. And that one also ended up being a $60 trade. I guess it went down, went up, went down, and I ended up just stopping, selling right in here and ended up with $60. But just very odd looking back at it. Normally I at least give it some room, but I don't know. Maybe something else was happening in the market at that moment, and I don't remember what it was. But $60, I mean, come on. Look at the move that took place. Hey, do you guys have any questions? Anything you want to discuss? Welcome, DL Curve. Crimson King, how you been? Right? Correct. Correct. So I'll go ahead. Okay, okay. Well, I was just going to show you, like, here's a great example of what not to do. And I think it's important that we go over the mistakes that we make as traders just as much as the good trades that we make, right? So today I FOMO'd into a trade right here, and I'll just call it that because I'm not sure why I got in. I assume that the rest of the market was going strong or whatever. I probably was watching coin. Coin was pushing up, and MSTR typically kind of goes with coin and Bitcoin. But I entered on this candle. I did not, I wasn't even above my major level. I wasn't above the 200 and I wasn't above the 20, which are my Those are my rules, right? So if and when you guys are trading with me live, if I'm entering in a trade below the 20 or 200, don't follow me. It was absolutely dumb. And so I ended up entering here and it never got above. What I needed to do was wait for this to happen. We had to move up here. Another strong move that cleared the 245 and the 2200 and the cyan, or the mean for the LRC. The entry would have been this candle as soon as it cleared the close of that candle. You could have scaled out here or just held if you wanted to. If you get a pullback like this and a push up, I add sometimes just because I read the price action and figure that I'm going to get continuation. And then now I did enter here and I'll show you what took place. So my $262 profit that I had, that's this trade. And here I'll actually show it to you on I'll show you the actual trade. So here's the actual trade. Where I took my trades and exited my trades. So this just shows where I entered and then where I exited, because I didn't wait for this one to move over the levels that it needed to on the regular stock. This is the options chain right here. And so what I did do is at 10:06 I entered back in with 4. I scaled out 2 here, scaled out another one on this push up higher, and then I exited all right here at 10:24. So I'll go back to my actual what I traded off of. This was my entrance. It was, I think, here. It may have been there, but I think it was the second one. My entry was the move above the close. I scaled out on this tall candle. Then I can't remember where I scaled out on the other, but I believe I traded up to the yellow and I exited. That enabled me to wipe out a $468 loss, which I had on this, because I exited on this big candle. And I think I got it like at the bottom, because I marketed it out and it was just moving straight down. So I exited there. So I turned the 468 into a 262 profit. So my trade here ended up being like a $600 profit, but I had to overwrite or take out the 468 that I had lost. I used the same option to trade right here, and honestly, I wouldn't have had that loss. That would have been another 400 extra dollars on my day, because I should have never taken that ever. That was stupid. Never should have taken it. I didn't get over my levels. This right here was a perfect setup. That is what you're looking for. Do you always get them that clean? No, but that's exactly what you look for. And then I made the $708 on this trade. Remember what I was telling you earlier, Maruga, like you look for the consolidation around your level. Take your enter when it breaks consolidation. It's below my 20, below my 200. It's consolidating on the cyan and the 245 level. That's like a A+ setup. I'd take that 10 out of 10 times. And I traded down, scaled out, scaled out. I think I ended up exiting on this candle here. So I made 708. I was at like 1100 when I was down here, but that's just part of trading. I should have exited when I hit my green, or at least scaled out all but maybe one, and then exited on the second green. And then, like, remember when I told you earlier, you wait for the pullback to the 20, you get your red, then you enter on your next red below that red. And then I could have traded this all the way down. No real reason to get out. No crosses over the 20. Hold, hold, hold. Could have scaled out at the green again. Got consolidation. No reason to get out. Scaled out at the pink. Exit at the 2 greens. That's the way it should have been traded the entire way down. However, we're human, and I got out and I had a $708 profit. I did get in. Let me see where I got in on this one. 361 was, I started here. I did, this was the one that was uh also two contracts. So I started with one at 1252, 1256 I added, and then I exited on the second red. Let's see. 1252 right here, which is perfect. So I had my pullback, I had my close, I entered on this candle. I think I missed this. I remember calling it out that I should have entered here, but I waited to get on the next candle and it pushed down through the green. I scaled out. Oh no, I added here. I'm sorry. I got in here. This is my entry. It pushed up. It came back down. I added one more contract, scaled out, and then I exited on this candle right here, the second green. So that was a really good clean. There wasn't a lot there, but there was plenty enough to make $361 with only um, two contracts. Oh, no worries, the L curve, no problem. If you have any questions, just type it in the Discord. Uh-huh. Yes. So correct. So yes, yes and no. I honestly, they all work, but what happened when I created the version 5, I didn't realize that, and I'll make sure I note that for everyone to go back in and change them. I don't, I'm not, maybe I'll have to go into the main code and change them to the whole number so that everybody gets them that way. When I made it, I used ChatGPT, and for whatever reason, it put in point fives. I really don't know why it did that, but it did it. So I, oh, okay, okay. And it was so yeah, I think it's best to start with the whole numbers. And then if you find, like, for instance, and this is very, very rare, this is usually extremely accurate with the whole numbers, but there are times when you may find a stock keeps going between them. At that point, you could hit point fives and it will align with the proper locations. Very rare, but it does happen. But I would start out with the whole numbers for sure. Yep. And then okay, okay, good. And then I traded TSM today. This was a really good trade. I got in here. Um, we had our push above. I waited for the close above the red LRC. I entered on this candle and it just went straight up. I didn't get in very heavy, so I only made, this was the one I called out today. I was like, man, why didn't I get in heavy? So I made 356 on it because I think I only got in two contracts. And man, that was a missed opportunity because I could have got in 10 or 20 contracts and really, really, really did well because honestly with this, there was no reason to ever even get out. You would scale out at the levels. The only level that I may have considered taking profit is the 196 or this is my mean of my long LRC, this pink dash line. However, I mean, this thing just went straight up. So, missed opportunity, still a decent trade. I made $356 on it, but it could have been way, way, way more. That's pretty much the extent of my trades today. I did take a loss. I got in on an MSTR at the wrong spot and realized it and exited out and had a $28 loss. Oh yeah, oh for sure, for sure. I've been there as well. I've seen the same things, and you always wonder, well, is it real? Is it not real? Are they really? And so yeah, I'm definitely going to be. I'm completely transparent with it because honestly, my real goal is I to help other people to be successful, and hopefully I can. I am by no means any type of trading guru or anything like that. All I know is I've tried just about everything you could possibly try when it comes to indicators and strategies and studies. I've tried, you name it, I've tried it. I kid you not. I've went through the entire use think script form and tried everything in there. And so I've been down that road and I've done that. And when I found this was really like a godsend. It was like I told you today, it was accidental finding this precise location or anchor position, and then that was it. Once I started using it, the real interesting thing for me that I can express what how it changed my trading is prior to me discovering the Anchored LRC, you kind of have that you can't see the forest for the trees type of thing. And that's kind of where I was. Like I wasn't seeing it all. I was kind of getting in, hoping, guessing, hoping it was going to go my way. And then once I started trading this and using the levels, it all just clicked. Um, Kind of, and maybe it was just the time, the price action, me learning price action over the time, and it all just maybe came together at the same time. But honestly, it was just like I had total clarity in my trading. And the best part about it is I don't have all that stress that I used to have because I would be just stressed out, like yelling at the thing, go, go, sell, sell, So I, um, I think that the biggest thing that I've gained from it is really confidence, which I think you really need. Um, you need to trust what you're doing is going to work before you can actually do what you're doing, because if you don't trust it, you're going to just exit and take uh, paper cuts, and uh, you're just going to continually take losses, 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 and those will add up far more than your profits. And I'm sure like all of you, probably all of us have been there, right? You've been in that spot where you'll try an indicator and you get this, oh, okay, I'm in. I just made $300, and then you take a paper cut of 100, paper cut of 200, paper cut of another 100, another 200. Well, now you're at a loss on the day, but for whatever reason, you lean on the one win and think, oh man, that was still good, right? But you're looking at your accounts going down. so so I've Yeah, yes, death by a thousand paper. That's exactly it. That's exactly, what I've experienced. I think we all experience that. And so, I know that this strategy probably won't work for everyone. That's just the way it is. People trade differently. They have different, just different ways that they look at it, or they just don't see it. And I get it, but I try to help. I hope I can help people to see what I see and just be successful. Of course, I want to expand and get more out of my trades, in time. However, right now I'm extremely happy with the profits that I make daily. Um, I'm making a great living by doing this, and you know, I do want to increase my profits, but I also don't want to be I don't want to be greedy, but at the same time, that's kind of why we're doing it, right? Yeah, exactly, exactly. And the one thing that I do offer to everyone is, once again, you guys may have way more knowledge than I have in trading, and I mean that sincerely. But if you ever have questions or we ever want to go over something, I work from home and I trade from home. So if you have questions, just shoot me a DM, put it in the Discord. If you want to go over it, I'm pretty much always available. I try. If I have family things going, then of course we'll have to wait. But if you guys are ever interested in, training, going over it, watching it live, doing like maybe doing it on demand and or whatever, you just let me know. I'll be more than happy to try to help and assist in what I see and how I trade. But the one thing I can say is it's truly a very simple strategy, and or technique. I don't even know if you want to call it a strategy. It's just really a rule set. Make sure you're above your 20 when you're taking a long call or a call, and make sure that you don't trade into the 200 unless you're extended a pretty decent amount. That's subjective. That's the only thing I don't know or I know how to uh, give anyone any advice on like what is the proper amount of spread that you can trade back into the 200. That's something that you'll have to, you know, traders will have to figure on their own. Like this right here, I would have said would have been absolutely okay to do. I think Sheep, he has been trading for a while and he trades different techniques and he does quite well. And he can chime in whenever he wants, but he'll trade right through the 2200 sometimes. And I'm just like, man, you're a brave guy. I won't do it now because I've been burned so many times by it. But he does, and he does extremely well with it, or has. I don't know if he's been doing it lately, but I know for a while there he was catching the bottoms and trading straight through it. So, like I said, everybody has their different techniques and different, you know, ways of trading. Correct, correct. And I actually enjoy. We do have guys that are constantly coming in and having, providing their ideas and what their niches are, what they're trying to, they're using. And I think that that's really a net positive because what what they share I may not want to use because I'm doing good with the way I'm trading now, right? But if it works for them and then maybe another member tries it and it works for them, then that's awesome. That's great. How you doing, Core? Does anyone else have any questions or do you have any others, Maruga? Am I saying your name correct? Oh, 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 okay, okay. Right. Well, my name isn't Metal either. Right. Right. Yes. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love how we can, how Discord and these things can just bring people together from all over, and collaborate. It's pretty cool. And I probably need to update them because I don't think I have I don't think I ever spelled out the rules of, like um, if you get two reds to exit, um, correct, correct. Right, right. But and again, that's a subjective type rule. That's to each his own. But I've just noticed in this market, especially in the last 2 or 3 weeks prior, that if you tried to hold for a big run, you're getting slapped, right? You're getting nailed, and it would just get big pullbacks, and then you'd FOMO out. So I decided that if I'm extending, and this is for everyone I'll just put it on this video, but I'll show what I'm talking about. I found that it's really important when you're trading, you wait for your second red and exit. And of course, this one you would have missed, but that's okay. The whole reason I do that is because this could have came back down here. And if it comes back down to the 20 and you didn't get out, it could easily just keep going down. We don't know that it's going to go up. We have no idea. So that's why I exit on the second red, and then I wait for the pullback to the 20. And then if I get a green and then another green, I just add back in. And then I catch the next run off the pullback. And this one may not give us the best visual of that, but I think it was it MSTR we were looking at earlier that really had and this happens every day, like this with several stocks where you get in, well, this one probably was okay. You exit here, second green. That way you don't lose all the way up to here. You enter back in, you hold, you exit here on the second green, wait for a red push down and then a red below, which was this one. You enter again, you rinse and repeat, exit the second green. Now, sometimes the second greens are really big like it was earlier, but that's just part of trading. You're never really going to know. Um, some people like to trade to where they reach a profit margin and they're good. They're done. Um, there's guys that are in our group. They're done by, heck, I think was Seb. What time was he done by? Like not. I don't even know if it was 10 o'clock. He was done. He met his quota and was done for the day. And now he traded IBM, and I didn't even see it. He called it out, and that's another good thing about having a really good community. Man, we can offer what we see, to help each other out. But he got in when this went above right here, the push above the green. He entered. He called this entire run, and he said it was printing, so he did extremely well. I believe this was the area that he got in at. What was that, sheep? Yeah, yeah, that was a really good move. And I haven't really been watching IBM, but I think I might put it on my chart. I believe it's kind of a low volume stock though with options, so you have to be careful with that because you may end up with big spreads, and if you don't get a good move, then you get chopped out. But so I'll keep an eye on it and see if it's something that we can trade. But I think that's one of the rule sets that I haven't put on my like in my rules. And the other one, I believe I have the one where you just wait for the pullback, and as long as you are, I only the first time when I first started using this and using the 20, I waited for two reds to close below the 20 EMA, and that would be my exit. The downside to that is just this is a great example. If you were to take this trade and you held this all the way back, you basically gave back everything you got in on, right? And our goal is to profit. Of course, a lot of people would want to just hold this to the top, but when do you really know it's the top? You know, so you could trade to support and resistance levels. However, that's why I find that once you get two reds, you exit. Then you wait for a pullback, then you re-enter. Your re-entry would have been either this candle or this candle, depending on if this actually got above. I can't see it from here, but it was literally right on it. You could make that judgment if you wanted to get here or actually get a close above and then go in. But that would have saved you from giving back all of that money. You would have profited here. You wouldn't have given all of it back to here, then you hop in and then you make it again if you want. There's a lot of times I don't take the second trade because I've already made enough. I've met my quota on the first run. I exit and I don't even really need to trade anymore, except for just wanting to make more. So I will work on maybe upgrading or updating my rule set just to offer that as an idea and show people. And I'll probably do some illustrations because I do get DMs quite a bit where people are asking how or why or where to when should they stop out, that sort of thing. But you know how I stop out, right? The stop out would be if you come back below your 20 EMA, two reds, or unless it's a really big red, then I'll just exit and move on my way. Um, Again, that's subjective. Some people may want to use the low of this candle, which makes the most sense because that's a structure change. Um, but for me, I've just found that it's keeping me profitable every day because I'm not giving back too much in the event that I waited for it to come all the way back down here and take a bigger loss. So that's just I think that's the method that I've picked up. That could change for me in the future. I don't really know right now, but uh, I try to exit, as soon as I can if I get above or below the 20 EMA when I'm on a, in a trade. Oh, sure. Does anyone else have any questions? You guys can type it if you like.
Hey, Meadow, it's Crimson.
Hey, Crimson.
Hey, I haven't been as active as I was a month ago. Work life.
Right, right.
Um, I was just curious. I saw you mention the strat a few times. Has that been implemented, or
Yes.
just
Yep, yep.
testing it out?
I am now 4 out of 6, but the last one was really my mistake, and I probably would be 5 out of 6 trades with it. Now I haven't traded it as long term as I believe it was designed to be used for, and I will show you that real quick. Give me just 1 second. Okay, here is the strat. This is how I have it set up. Um, so typically we I don't know if you know what this strat is about, but I can go through that. From what I know, I'm very new to it, so I'll try to explain as much as I can. So the way this group, I think it was Rob Smith, is who the guy that figured this method out. And what he does is he uses it's based off of inside bars. And let me go to my I want to pull up something else for you guys too. And this is in the Discord if you guys are interested. It's in the general chat. Um,
I don't just think that
yes.
I am familiar with it,
Okay.
but I mean, I know you're gonna tell everybody else about it. Yeah, I've been actually been thinking about the strat. That's what I was using before I came to LRC. So I feel like they kind of go together, but I haven't been able to crack it. So hopefully you will.
Well, I mean, I have and I haven't. So it's very new to me. Like I've literally only taken 6 trades. However, they've all been profitable with the exception of two. One didn't work out right away, which was PLTR, and that one went against me. And so I'll show those to you. I'll show you what I did. And the one I got out of today was UNH. My mistake with UNH is I was supposed to buy 2 to 3 weeks out. I had 2 weeks out loaded, which was supposed to be the 15th of November. And I also had an intraday, which was just this week's loaded. I grabbed the wrong one when I bought, and I didn't realize that I did it. And this is their strat sheet, that basically their cheat sheet. I can explain it by watching this, and then I can or going over this to the other people in the group if they're interested. But basically, all of these candles are considered active candles. Okay, so this isn't something that's already happened. This is what's going to happen or what they're expecting to happen. So you have your two and your one. Your ones are always an inside bar. And when you have a two and a one, you basically literally you just enter as soon as it crosses above the top of the one. Or If you're going down, which is the 2-1 bearish continuation, this is the same as this, just flipped upside down. You enter on the low of the not the body but the low. These represent high and lows. So these could have wicks or should have wicks. If it had a wick, it would be at the bottom of the wick. Just so you guys know, it's high and low, not just the bodies. And you enter as soon as it crosses the low, and then your target level is the last high, which is the previous bar's high, and the same up here, previous bar high, and then you target the next previous bar high. And then they have other scenarios, like I think their favorite are the bullish reversals. Those are the ones they do the best on. And that's just you're coming down with a red, you get an inside bar, and then it goes above with a green. Those are the ones they make the most profits on, according to the YouTube channels I've watched. So this is a good one. Look at SPY. This will be a pretty good setup on Monday maybe, unless we just get a lot of movement between now and then. So we have a daily inside bar. If you get this moving back up, your target is literally right here. So you don't really have much of a target, right? However, if you get the move down, you got a decent target. This is 568.42 from 570. So you got a two point move to this target. But then, then they go to the next low, which would have been this target. That would be target number 2. So you can either exit the whole strategy here or scale out at this one and hold maybe 1 or 2 runners and hope that you get to the next low candle. On the flip side, if this goes up, you're already at your target. I don't know if this is something they would take. You do have a gap, so they probably would target the low of this candle, or maybe even the low of this as a target. But for me, it's kind of interesting. It seems to work pretty well as a trading strategy. I've used it on the daily, and I've also noticed that the 4-hour and again, this is very new. I don't have a lot of data to provide a whole lot of information on this, but I've noticed that the 4-hour is let me put this on manual time frame. I'm changed the strategy around so you could use it as an MTF. So I've noticed that when you have a 4-hour candle and you cross below, you can really get some pretty darn good moves intraday. So the first 4 that I traded were all profits. I met my targets. I even hit my second target on a couple right on within, I guess, 30 minutes. So in that case, I would say it's working, but the jury's still out. I'm not 100% sure. I'm still, like I said, I'm still learning it. I know that they do broadening formations, which would be here. If you have a 3-bar, they basically, you come in and you go to the last high, and you make a broadening formation. Then you go and look at that on let's just say a 15-minute chart. These colors are their colors up here that they had. I'll probably get rid of that. And one thing that I thought was really awesome about the broadening formation, this was kind of enlightening to me, because I felt like I kind of knew most things about the price action and structure. But one of the things that they had mentioned, and it makes a ton of sense, is when you have a broadening formation, this one's not the greatest example, but in a lot of the examples that they show, price will come up here. It'll come, maybe have some, pullbacks. It'll come down to this side of the bar, and then it'll go all the way back up to this side of the bar until it either breaks out and changes the broadening formation and basically negates it, which that happened here, but it came back inside. So what they do is they don't trade to structure or to support and resistance levels. They will wait for this to move down below or at the broadening formation, and then take the next, like if it's a 2-1 and then a 2 up, they get in. And the reason they do that is they're literally getting the bottom of the move of this cycle, because it comes down, pushes up. Like I said, this isn't the greatest example because that didn't happen here, But so that just shows you that it's not going to be 100%, right? Because it didn't even work out here. But there's several that I looked at that did work out. Um, so it's kind of an interesting trading strategy, and it's something that I will for now just keep an eye on. Just so you know, I will just I will look out for that, because if I'm the part that made the most sense is, like, for instance, let's say if you have let's say we had a major support level right here, right? Just hypothetically, it's coming off of this low, but you have a broadening formation that's back here and down here. They're like, well, most people are going to buy off of this, and then it fails it and comes down to the broadening formation, and they take a loss, where they will wait for it to go through this through the support level to the broadening line, and then use that as their structure. So it's a neat concept. Like I said, the jury's still out. I'm not 100% sure if it's something I'll stick with. I do think it's a very viable um, strategy, because you're really using price action and levels to trade, which is what I firmly believe in. I think that like this is setting up for next week. If this stays an inside candle, you guys can look at Amazon, look at the gap fill we have. I mean, it's a big gap fill, right? If you get the break below, but I'm sorry, right here it is, below the 197.34, absolutely trade to your first target level, which is actually all the way. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Here's your first target. It's not very far, but your first target is this previous high on the 4 hour. But if you break through that, you can look to fill this gap probably and come back down here. And interestingly enough, what is that? That's my long LRC. The long LRCs, guys, if you're not using them, you need to be using them. I they're incredible. They give us a bigger, wider view of the channel and what and how the price is, or the stock is trading. And if you're in a trade on a 2 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, whatever you're trading, and you are coming up to this level right here, in my opinion, you exit out of most all of it. Maybe hold a runner to see if it gets above and tries to push to the next leg. But most of the time, if you're paying attention, you'll be able to see that this level's very significant. And so when you get to it, you may as well just exit, wait for the pullback, and try to get back in again on a push up. Or in this case, it came to this side and then pushed up. Uh, Again, that doesn't happen every day, but almost every day, with at least one stock or another, where you will be approaching the major levels. And like this one I have is, it starts on 9/26/2022. That's how far back this long LRC goes. So it's covering 2 years of time, and it's still very accurate. And if it's not, if you draw the long LRCs on your chart, just take your time daily. Like if you get some big moves or whatever, and just manipulate it until you align the best area where it's pivoting, and it typically works out pretty well for me. Did that kind of answer your question, Crimson? I don't really have a lot of experience to provide, but
Yeah, no, you definitely answered it. Still sounds like you're still in the lab though, but I was just
yeah.
curious. But it definitely gives me something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to using it on a for swing trading, but also in conjunction with what I want to see happen. And this would be a probably a good example right here, is I would love to see something like this happen, where I have, this is a reversal, right? A 2-1 reversal on a long LRC. that would be spectacular. Like if I could get like some sort of code that would let me know that I have a, that I have a 4 hour or a daily candle that's in an inside bar stopping, which there's no way to do it because I draw these in manually. But if I witness this happening, then that gives me, especially if I get this trade here, I would get in for a long term because look what you would get off of that. That's a pretty significant move. You're from 176 all the way to 202, and you're only looking at how many weeks? Monday, there's one, two, three, like 3.5 weeks, and you get a huge move. So that I would be really excited to see happen off the long LRC. Like if one was right here right now doing it, I would definitely be very excited about getting into, especially if I got a green candle above the inside bar. And I think if you watch their videos, they use the weekly a lot, like the weekly inside bar as well, because they do longer term swing trading. Like
Yeah,
this,
they have a Discord that I'm in as well, but yeah, it's exactly how you're saying, weekly, monthly, and they definitely know how to time it right.
yeah, yeah, and that I think that's an experience and a learned thing, right? I think I'm in the same. I may be in the same one. It's called stat trading.
Yes.
Is that, yeah, I joined that the other day just to see how they were trading this. I just haven't really had a lot of time to put in, learning. But like this right here would have been a great. So you come up to the long LRC. This is the daily now. You come up to the long LRC, you see it stops right on it. You get an inside bar the next day, then you get a clearing of that inside bar. That would be your entry. I mean, and that would be a great trade. That's 192. You got all the way down. Depends on if you got out on this, but if you stayed in it, you would get all the way down to 180, or call it 181. But so yeah, there's definitely potential for this to be maybe in conjunction with something else. There's also, and I also wanted to um, tell you guys that if you're trading the LRC strategy, um, and you combine a different indicator with it, and you find something that's working that actually helps for your gives you confluence or gives you better understanding of when the trade enters, share it, let us know, because I mean I'm against the indicators, but I'm not against them. I don't like the ones that say buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here. I think that takes away, um, I think personally that takes away you doing what you should be doing, and then that's paying attention to price action and levels on your chart instead of just relying on something to tell you what to do, because they don't know you're coming to a support and resistance level a lot of times, and they'll tell you to buy right here. They're like buy, and then you just get slammed. So there is a time and place for them. I think you and I were talking about that earlier, Maruga. As the You could use an indicator, and if it's coming off of a major level and off of the LRC and off of the 20 or something, then that just gives you more, I think a broader um, understanding or more confirmation that it's going to be a good trade or maybe a good trade. Anything else you guys want me to look at? Like any stocks that you guys were watching today that you would like to see how this would have worked or you could have traded it? Oh, really? Nvidia? Oh, oh, yep. Wow. Oh, that's a pretty good move. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I mean, my levels are really good. Sometimes I'm not exact, but um, I really trust them. I've been using them for a while. I do. I don't know if you guys have heard of Options Insider. It's Desi Trades. He has a YouTube channel and he trades live as well. But he doesn't trade like LRC or anything. He doesn't even trade moving averages or anything. He typically only trades off of support and resistance levels, and he's been extremely successful. This year he's been incredibly successful. He's already made over 1 million this year, um, trading the strategy and or trading the support and break and retest strategy. And the what was I getting at? Oh, his he also is really good at levels, and he gives them every morning for free on YouTube. So what I'll do, which I'm a member of his Discord anyway. So when I go through and I do my levels, I go and compare just to see if there's something I missed, or if if I like his something that he's calling out better than mine, and I'll make some adjustments just to if I feel like it's necessary. And I just think that's really really a good thing, because you also have other eyes on support and resistance levels, so it just helps me to be even more accurate with them. But if you guys ever want to, you can watch his YouTube channel. He goes live every morning at 8 during the week.
But I see how the LRC that is doing such well, even though the price just shot up like crazy afterwards, it still ended up
Yep, yep. It's incredible. It's one of those things that now been trading this for several months, and it still does not see it hasn't ceased to amaze me. It just blows my mind every day when I'm trading it, just how good the levels work and how you can absolutely trust that you're going to have something happen. You may go right through them, but you also may pull back. One of the things we've been noticing a lot lately, especially with QQQ, is on the yellow LRC, when it's on the one, I have to change this. Oh, also, if you guys didn't know this, I have a version 5 now, and I added a width multiplier so that whenever you get in those days where you have a really, really tight pattern, you can just change the multiplier and it moves all of them for you equally. But like here lately, we've been watching, and I've been taking SPX trades um, based off of the yellow LRC or even the red LRC with the Qs. If you see the Qs pull back and reject the yellow, and then you get in the next candle, and it has just been absolutely spot on. It's been incredible how good it has been. Um, so again, it doesn't work every single time, right? But it works, and you can. For me, I completely trust them, and you can look like adding that multiplier. I don't know why I hadn't done this in the past. That's awesome, because now once you get out beyond your LRC, all it takes is a quick boom, change your multiplier. You can do 0.5s, you can do whatever you want, any number. That's 3 times, so everything's one is a 3, 2 is a 6, 3 is a 9 deviation.
yeah, actually about that. 6 standard deviation. Which one out of your experience can say most of the time
That's a really good question. I would say it's kind of hard to say now that I have this multiplier, but when I'm not using the multiplier and they are the norm, the 3 is really, I mean, the 3 the the 2 is very like um it's a pretty big deal. The yellow is a big deal. And then the let's see, 3, 4, 5. 5 has been a really big deal. I've noticed that the 5 deviation has been pretty significant on pullbacks and consolidations once the price gets up that high. Um, but in all reality, they all are pretty significant. As you can see, like here's the 6. So I would trust really all of them. And if you want to, like if you're concerned about like scaling out and not letting it run, then just spread them wider and give yourself a bigger range. But keep in mind it could pivot right in the middle of the range. It's possible that it may be looking for the one that you went outside of. So nothing's perfect, but this is darn close. It's pretty incredible. Yes, correct. The orange.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, the yep, the orange. I changed it to orange. The orange is yeah, I changed mine to orange because I didn't want to have two yellows. That way, like if I'm zoomed in and it's going to it, I would know that it was beyond the 2 deviation. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you, it's just kind of incredible how well it works. Like I'll just go to a stock I haven't even looked at. Um, Well, and check this out. Like this is something to look for right here. You have this happening, this consolidation, all this back and forth, then boom, your entries here. You can add on this candle straight up. You can exit on the second red if you wish, or exit on the oh this is the that's the strat. Those blue lines are my strat levels. Um, so you judge it how you want to judge it, but if you look at the yellow, it got up there and just consolidated around the yellow. You could have exited at the yellow, taken a great profit, re-entered on the second green up, and boom, back and all the way up to the green again, and then exit. So again, it's just depends on your trading style, how you want to trade. If you want to just, because a lot of people I know they want to just get in on a level and hold it and not worry about all the fuss in between and get from one level to the next. You may not ever get there and you may end up taking a loss by doing that, but there's nothing wrong with that style of trading. It's just, everybody's different. Um, and, and I've been a lot better at holding, but what's funny is we were talking about it today in the Discord. All the times that I've held trying to get the entire move, what's interesting is I end up giving back, just like with this trade, 708. I held that to see if I could get more right through a level that, I mean, I it went right to a specific LRC level and pushed out. And if I'd taken profit, I would have had $1,100. But because I held it to try to get more of the move, but that's part of it. We're going to deal with that, and I need to be okay with it. But I do look at it like, man, if I just every time I get beyond 1,000, if I just take that and move on, there's several times in my days trading where I may only have a $1,300 day. In that day, I had 3 times I could have taken 1,000 and been $3,000, but I held it long enough that I ended up with like 400, or so that's hindsighting my trading, but it's real, and I know it's happening. Um, so that's one of the things that also is the emotional side of us trading. You have to be able to handle that and be okay with it. Although it is a pain, I know I would be up a whole lot more if I had just every time I got to around 1,000, just take it. Um, but you know what happens when I do that? It goes to 6,000.
yes.
It knows when I'm getting in and out. I know.
That's why we should have some scheme. It's like kind of
But
maintain this.
Well, that's Nomac. That's why he jokes about that in the Discord. Because what's funny is he will when he gets out, I kid you not, every time he exits a trade, it goes. So he'll get out of a trade and tell us, "All right, guys, I got out. Now you can get your profits." It's kind of funny but sad too, right? Um, but anyhow, yeah, it's kind of it helps the trading day be enjoyable. Any other questions? Any other stocks to look at? Okay, very good. Hey, Nomac, we were just talking about you. Were your ears burning? Oh. Let me go to. Let me go to the clean chart. Um. Oh yeah. Oh wait a minute. This doesn't have extended hours. Oh yeah, it does. Oh, that's all. I mean, it's still down, right? Yeah. Yeah. It looks really good, but it has a ways to go to for a real recovery. But this could be the catalyst, right? Yeah, that could be the catalyst. This could be if we get a move over, maybe a pullback, and then a blast above this. This is the long LRC right here too. You can see what happened the last few times it got above it. It went straight up. Came down here, went up. This time it went past it. So I was actually looking for Nvidia to get to here in the future, around the 128 level, and then pivot up. And it's still in an uptrend, right? I think we get caught in these intraday, and it all seems like, oh, the sky is falling. But when you zoom out and you look, you're like, no, we're still moving up pretty good. Um, so I actually a retest of this LRC, the long LRC, and I may adjust it because it looks like I'm a little off on some of my pivots, but to get it more tuned in, and yeah, if we get a move here on Monday and a push up, then that could be a juicy trade to the upside, possibly heading back up to this line. And that I think that would be all-time highs, right? I believe. Yeah, I believe it is. Good point though, sheep. Yeah, it looks a whole heck of a lot bigger of a move, when you're looking at it on a 2-minute chart. I wouldn't mind catching that though. Yeah, and come out with some news. Yeah, and it works. They do it every time. Look at that candle right there. What's up, Nomac? How you doing this evening? Hello, hello. He may have. So I think unless Nomac has something. Oh, oh, there you go. I, I did look at that earlier today. It looked like it was starting to. Oh, it's just flatlining right now. I hope it does this the entire weekend. I don't want it to go anywhere, so that when it starts out on Monday, we get the moves. But it has been a great stock to trade. I mean, you get some really good moves. and it prints. Now this was probably one of its worst days because it usually has some just significant moves every day. Look at that craziness. Tell me if that isn't algo.
Look at daily LRC.
The long LRC. Is that what you're talking about? You-
Sorry, Mike. Zoom way out. So you have super long LRC.
No, not on this one, but I can check and see.
Like whenever it bounced, it hit it, it shot straight up. It's weekly. See it bounced.
Yeah, I wonder how far back you went. Maybe much further back so that we get a bigger spread.
Yeah, it may have been weekly.
Yeah, I'll do some adjusting with that this weekend and try to get that fine tuned because that would be a good one also to play up off of this if it gets back above the 245 level. But you can see there's your high and your low right there. There's your support level. What is that? 227 roughly. Right at the long LRC, but this is, oh yeah, MSTR. So I'll definitely work on getting that aligned and I'll put it in the Discord for us. And if you already have one, you can put yours in too. I'd love to compare what you're finding.
Sure, I'm on mobile right now.
Right. I meant later, but yeah. Monday. Kind of. So remember when I was telling you that you have to do the one part manually? So if you look in my Discord, let's see, under trading charts. So this, yeah, this is, and I'll just do this with you right here real quick. That way you can see it happen. Um, Let me go to a clean chart. And Qs. Make sure they're on a clean chart. Okay. So what I posted is if I double click this, it gives us what the length is. It tells us the date. This part you can type in, and this part you can type in. Okay, this one you cannot, the end point. So you have to go and drag it to 8/16/24. Um, so the only thing it'll let you put in is the begin point. And like today, this is the one I put in the Discord for Qs just so everyone could see that that's what I was using. So yeah, you can just go in and drag one and type this in and then go and grab the right side, the end point, and move it to 8/16/2024, 3:30 p.m. What may be the easiest way to do that is to go to that date and then just do this might make it a lot quicker for you and just say, let's just say it's 8:23 and just put you a vertical line. And then all you have to do is grab and drag your node right there and you got it. That just may be a quicker way to do it instead of trying to fish for the date up here. Um, I wish they would. This is one thing that we've been talking about. It would be really nice if they would allow us, they meaning Thinkorswim, to be able to extract it or like export the information and just be able to send it all of my long LRCs to you guys and it just go poof. But you just no.
Them, I think they
No, no, I don't think so. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, you can't even use it. No. It's the only way that I was able to use on demand is I went into my setup and I just reset my workspace to default. I got rid of everything, didn't have any indicators, nothing. And then I just opened up one page and then active trader and I actually labeled it on demand. So if I ever wanted to go test something, it'll take me to that workspace and it's super clean and it allows it to work a little bit, but not still not good. It isn't like it was what 3 years ago. Three years ago, the on demand was incredible. It worked. It seemed to work really well. Now they just I think they they're not really doing anything to upgrade it or make it any better. So anything else, guys? Alrighty. Well, I think I will call it there. Go spend some time with the grandbaby, unless they probably already put her to bed. So spend some time with my wife. But I appreciate you guys coming by. Hopefully, this helped some, and I'll try to do this more often. That way, we can kind of go over the concept, the trades that we take, and maybe also implement other ideas or indicators to try to get it as refined and as good as we can get it. Oh, oh, you're very welcome. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to head out. You guys take care. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Alrighty.